Alright, let's be honest. The Star Wars Ultra Build General Grievous set is the best construction Ultra Build set. Now look, many of them are great, whether it's for the pieces that come in the sets or the actual models themselves looking pretty decent. But there's something about this General Grievous set that just makes it stand out from the rest. In this video, let's discuss why this set is so good, and we'll also highlight a mock that improves this set in an incredible way, and let's also discuss the different ways that you could use the pieces in this set for your own LEGO creations. Let's discuss. So I think this set is a shining example of why the character and creature building system, otherwise known as CCBS, is so good. Of course, CCBS is the ball and socket system that you see in early Hero Factory 2.0, and it continues forward into Bionicle G2, and of course these Ultra Build Star Wars sets, and many other things. And this set might be one of, if not the best examples of using CCBS in an official set. I mean, just look at him. This looks like General Grievous. And that might sound a bit obvious, of course it looks like him, but sometimes you have Star Wars Ultra Build sets that look nothing really like the character. And also, with CCBS, sometimes you run into this particular issue. Let's take a look at the Chewbacca Ultra Build set and I'll explain what I mean. So Chewbacca, he looks wonderful. I think it's a solid depiction of the character, but with CCBS, you run into an issue with the limbs where you can see that it's a building toy. The knees or the elbows have this unarmored area on the joints there, and it just looks off. It kind of ruins the illusion and makes it look like a building toy. And it certainly looks a lot less accurate to the source material. And that's not just the case on Chewbacca, we see that on a lot of the different sets. Sometimes it works for its advantage, but not always. Most of the time, not always. And let's be fair, if you're a Star Wars fan, or you're maybe not even a huge LEGO fan, and you're like, I want an accurate, cool looking figure of Chewbacca, this might put you off. Instead, you'd maybe want to buy a Black Series Star Wars action figure, or maybe a Hot Toys figure, where you're definitely going to get something incredibly accurate and incredibly realistic. So sometimes, CCBS is a bit of a hindrance to these characters. But other times, much like on General Grievous, the obvious look of the CCBS pieces doesn't hinder it and I think actually improves it. Areas like the arms up here, they have that exposed CCBS bone piece. Well, it looks totally fine. It looks close enough to the actual source material here. This set is using CCBS's look and feel to its advantage. It makes it look more droid-like. I think it makes General Grievous look a lot better. So immediately this set stands out from any of the other builds because it just looks so accurate and it uses the system to its advantage. So the set's great, but let's discuss the build of this guy now. The layered armor around the chest captures his design very well. It's also got a nice amount of shoulder and chest posability, which is rare for a CCBS figure. And all of this is even better when we remove the armor, and we can see that it's just made up of a bunch of these CCBS bone pieces arranged in a way that makes it breathe and move. And it captures the wonderful hunch and overall vibe of General Grievous's torso perfectly. See, that's something else that's so good about CCBS. You can arrange the bone pieces like this and create a brilliant torso design with just those pieces, and not much else. But I feel like with the older style Bionicle pieces, it would take you a lot of different Technic pieces and other parts to achieve a fairly similar design. CCBS allows you to build a lot more with a lot less pieces, and do so in a quicker amount of time. I think that's really cool. And the legs are great too. Once again, it captures that Grievous vibe very well. This one has a bit more Technic in it, unlike the torso, but that's fine. I think it pulls off the desired look very nicely, so a good idea to be including that there. The only issue with these legs is that the lower leg has a tendency to pop off if you bend it around too much. And it's not like if you're overextending it, it just likes to fall off all the time if you're moving the legs, which is a bit of a shame. Regardless, the leg design overall looks fantastic, so I can kind of overlook this. But if you do move the legs around too much, it's gonna pop off, which is a bit sad. Oh, and this knee pad's cool too. I like that it's posable, so no matter how you move the leg, you can just angle that knee pad so it looks good. Very nice inclusion. We also have Grievous's iconic 4 arms, which can be put together so that he has 2 arms. It's fun that they included this play feature, even though the grey connector sticking out does look a little bit strange, but if you really want, you could just remove it, I suppose. Oh, and of course, the face design on Grievous is brilliant. It's easily one of the best face sculpts for the Ultra Build sets, and let's be honest, some of them look pretty bad, but this one is brilliant. So much so that it works very well on this General Grievous revamp. This mock was built by Marcin Otraba, and it reimagines Grievous in an astonishing way. The best part of this mock is the wonderful torso design. Really accenting the internal organs was a great choice, and it differentiates it from the set in a great way. Of course, this is a lot more accurate to the movies as well, so it's ticking all the boxes. This whole like collar area that uses these windscreen pieces that appear in tan in the Yoda's Hut Lego set is fantastic. Comparing its look to the actual look that it has in the movie, very accurate and very cool. Also, this is just such a testament to how nice that head design is. You could have made a custom head, but honestly, it just wouldn't have looked as good as this does. Such a nice revamp. Now let's get back to the set and discuss some of the awesome part selection that it has. Off the bat, we have these really nice bone pieces, most noticeably 11 of these ones. It's great that you get so many, and if you wanted to use them in a MOC, you could do something similar to what Patrick Biggs has done on his MOC Skullcrater, the Lord of Spiders. We can see the leg design here uses a lot of these specific pieces, and when you combine them with that armor or some tires as well, it makes for a very effective leg design. Simple, but beautiful. So since you get so many in this set, if you want to do something like this, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do so. You also get a pretty healthy supply of these connector pieces, always a big help to have when you're building MOCs. We can see this one in use on a brilliant MOC by Jafer that's called Dung Beetle Plague Mech Kappa. If you look at the shoulders here, you can see that this specific piece is being used. Using it here allows the torso to branch off so that 2 hands can be put onto it. So if you're making a MOC that has multiple limbs, this is going to be a helpful piece for you. Additionally, you get lots of these modified ball joint lift arm pieces, as well as these tiny CCBS bone parts in dark bluish grey. These tiny joints could be used on something like Shadow Gear 6335's MOC Lugnut. So if you're building a little tiny Matoran or just a small dude like this, having these smaller limbs make it so much easier to build tiny limbs on tiny dudes. Also, Lugnut looks super cute. Those ball joint lift arm pieces that I spoke about before have been used in a MOC by Lewis Hammond, in which he revamps a Bootleg Bionicle set. Now the build itself, super nice. But when we take a look at the frame underneath all of this armor, we can see this beautiful custom torso design. We can see these lift arm pieces that I spoke about before, front and center here. This way armor can be attached to this more customized torso. So if you're looking to build your own unique frames or custom torsos like this, having that piece is going to be incredibly helpful. Since Grievous has such a fantastic lightsaber collection, you get lots of these lightsaber hilt pieces. We can see that Joxon's power revamp here uses them on the upper arms. The shape of these pieces is just really nice. It's a good way to spice up very thin limb designs. So if you're looking to do something like that, you could do something like Joxon's done here with these wonderful pieces. This set also has plenty of claw pieces. Again, another MOC by Joxon, it is called Belial, uses them to sculpt a wonderful face design. They work well as horns, they work well as eyebrows, or even just parts of the face. These pieces have so many different uses for them, so good to get a nice handful in this set. And finally, there's plenty of wonderful tan armor pieces. This is a great tan parts pack. In fact, I own 2 of this set because I wanted a lot of these tan pieces to play with. So, let's take a look at a couple different MOCs that use these tan pieces in some very creative and clever ways. The first one is by Ted Anders, and it is called Sicarius. You can see the tan shin guards here making up armor on all of these different spider legs. Very cool to see, and this chest armor piece is also used on the kind of face design here where the gun is at the front of this battle mech. So it's awesome to see how well these can integrate with a bunch of different system pieces. Another MOC that uses these is a Vorox MOC by Sisaba. So if you're looking to revamp a Vorox, this is a very helpful parts pack to be able to do exactly that. We can see how much this MOC has been decked out with a bunch of those different parts, and my favorite part is probably the tail. Great idea to use those there just to have a nice armored up tail design. It looks fantastic. And finally, we can see on Peiki Tongu's MOC here that he uses these tan shin guards for a very nice leg design. If you're looking to replicate Caucasian skin, tan is a great color to be able to do so, and we can see on this MOC by Pate and a bunch of the other MOCs that he's done that you can very easily create realistic looking leg designs with these pieces and a few other system parts as well. So it's awesome that you get them in this set. There's so many uses for them. And that's a bunch of different ways you can use the parts of this fantastic set. It's also my thoughts on why General Grievous is just one of the coolest Ultra Build Star Wars sets that we got. If you don't have it, it might be worth buying one for yourself. It's a good parts pack, and it's just a really good set. Lots of fun that you can have with it, that's for sure. Be sure to check the links in the description to see links to all the MOCs that I discussed today, and check out some of the other awesome builds that these builders have done. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.